Okay, welcome back. In today's conversation, we will look at three companies that are working together to make better, faster, and more efficient cell phone towers for 5G networks. We are going to dive into how Altera, Analog Devices, and one of their customers, Blue Waves Mobility Innovation, are collaborating to accelerate time to market through Altera's enablement package and Analog Devices advanced transceivers. Let's start by introducing our guests. On our panel today, we have Darren Enright, the Director of Business at Blue Waves Mobility Innovation, a leader in providing O-RAN solutions based in Toronto, Canada. We have Mike Fitton, who is the GM and VP of Vertical Markets at Altera. Mike is a long-term veteran of Altera and has extensive experience in the wireless and networking space. And then we have Bill McKenney, a marketing director focused on Open RAN ecosystem development in the wireless communications group at Analog Devices. Welcome, everyone. I think we're going to start with Darren, and maybe you could tell us about the importance of the North American market for your business, particularly in the context of Open Radio Access Network, or O-RAN for short.
Oh, thanks for having me today. North America has been a key market for us, especially as O-RAN gains traction here. With a mandate by federal governments in the Western markets to have Huawei removed in recent years, the number of viable TRAN, traditional RAN providers was reduced to the big three vendors. Many operators has seen that as an opportunity to look into O-RAN as a viable alternative to the traditional RAN market. Operators in North America have been actively investigating O-RAN, doing pilots and trials, and some have gone as far as deploying it in their commercial networks. As an Open RAN radio solution provider, we've had early success in this department here in North America with a mobile operator that's been leading the way in terms of O-RAN adoption. We've been primarily focused on ensuring their success as they roll out their O-RAN in their commercial network. And so far, early results they've been very pleased with. So among leaders, including this particular operator, there's been tremendous focus on open, virtual, flexible, and automated network architectures. And O-RAN addresses these concerns perfectly. BMI's goal is to deliver innovative, competitive, scalable, and customizable O-RAN radio solutions for the North American telecom industry. By designing and manufacturing O-RAN solutions here in Toronto, Canada, we're striving to become a critical part of a growing, secure, reliable, and trusted North American supply chain. Now, we started here in North America. However, as news has spread of our success, we've been enjoying more and more conversations with operators, both here in North America as well as in other Western markets.
That's really good to hear. So, how important is it for your business to have customizable, flexible options for your customers? And how do packages like Altera's help with that?
Well, it's critical, actually. Customization is critical. Customers' needs vary widely across different markets due to differing spectrum requirements and use cases. So traditionally, when operators had unique requirements for spectrum bands that they hold, the wait time could be years. BMI's ability to quickly respond and customize our portfolio of products to suit client needs sets us apart and differentiates ourselves from the other providers. BMI is currently using Altera's enablement package, and it's allowing us to tailor our radio solutions without starting from scratch, which significantly improves our development time. So the customization capability is critical in this market. The biggest benefit we have comes from the flexibility it allows to make changes within the FPGA component to quickly respond to changing specifications or vendors in the O-RAN ecosystem.
Very good. You just mentioned Altera's radio enablement package. I would love to know how it helps you to become more competitive, how it helps you reduce costs.
Well, so far we have found the enablement package reduces engineering time and lowers our development costs by as much as 10 to 12%. Pre-integrated solutions minimize errors, cuts down on rework, and saves time and resources. Ultimately, it enables us to do more competitive pricing and shortens our lead times for our customers, boosting our overall market position.
Very good. Thank you so much, Darren. I'd like to go to Mike now, and maybe we can address the elephant in the room first. As many will know, Altera is separating from Intel. I'm curious to learn more about how this separation will benefit Altera, and especially in relation to Altera's wireless and networking strategy.
Great question. First of all, thanks a lot for having all of us here today, Bernard. Really appreciate it. It's a super exciting time for us at Altera at the moment. One of the biggest benefits that I see from the separation perspective is kind of we get the best of both worlds. We have the ability of the scale of Intel, but a little bit more agility of being a smaller company with respect to Altera. From a networking strategy point of view, we're still very focused in the RAN market. And as you know, and as we're talking about today, FPGAs and the RAN market are very fast moving. They require the nimbleness, and Altera is right sized to be able to support that kind of activity. And then the final point I would make is being part of a big company like Intel previously, and still being wholly owned, majority owned by Intel, has a great advantage from a technology perspective. The Intel engineering investment that we've had over the last few years has enabled us to produce the most performant FPGA currently on the market. And that in turn enables us to support our partners like Analog Devices and BMI to make sure that we're addressing the RAN market.
Very good. You mentioned FPGAs. For me, they are blank slate computer chips. They can be programmed to do different tasks. What about FPGAs that makes them great for radio access networks or RAM?
I think is exactly your point, Bernard. It's about the fact that they're a blank slate, and you can superimpose on top of that whatever functionality that you want. We all know, having lived through a few generations, you can see from my gray hair that I've experienced a number of generations. My first job out of school was doing 2G handset development way back in the day. And every generation of wireless connectivity is different. It's new, it changes fast. And that rapid development cycle that is afforded by FPGA, the fast time to market, and the ability to have flexibility and future proofing is super important to be able to address that in the space. Particularly from a radio perspective, we need to develop hundreds of thousands of different radios out there. We need to be developing multiple different SKUs, multiple different frequency bands. And so having the flexibility to reuse the design and to port it to a new band or a new customer is super important as well. Specifically with respect to Altera FPGAs, we do a lot to make sure that our FPGAs are performant and meet the needs of the RAN market. Particularly with our latest generation with Agilex 7, we produced multiple different versions of that family that address everything from small cell up into macro and even into massive MIMO as well. And I encourage you all to check out a white paper we've got on Agilex 7 and the superior performance that we're demonstrating from a beamforming perspective. As we look towards the future, we see the ability to potentially to integrate some artificial intelligence and machine learning into the edge of the network. It wouldn't be a good webinar if we didn't talk about AI. I think AI has to feature everywhere now, right?
Absolutely.
And if we look at how we're supporting that from an FPGA perspective, we're infusing an AI capability into the FPGA fabric, which means we can implement some of the machine learning algorithms right at the edge of the network, which means that performance is better, latency is lower, and power consumption is less. So that then means that as we start to look towards 6G, which can be a little bit scary when we think of no one really knows about where AI is going to be going in that space, having the flexibility afforded from an FPGA point of view is going to be vital in that space.
Very good. And you not only make FPGAs, there's a lot more that you do beyond just silicon. You produce IP or designs for FPGAs, like the radio enablement package that we've just touched on. Based on what I'm seeing, Altera's radio enablement package is delivering great value to BMI. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about this package and what it is.
Yeah, 100%. It was great to hear from Darren first and to hear the positive impact that having the radio enablement package could have on BMI's development, which is fabulous. The intention from our point of view is as we see more standardized protocols that have emerged and more stable functional blocks that we have, we're trying to provide the foundational IP as part of our enablement package, and then by extension, enabling our customers to differentiate where they're adding value and to minimize time where they're not going to be adding their secret sauce. The idea of having a generic ORAN enablement package is it allows our customers to modify it to meet their specific use case. And this it builds on a series of production-grade validated IP cores around things like interfaces and timing, as well as some of the signal processing as well. We've created two specific different designs, targeting macro, which is obviously still the majority of designs, but also massive MIMO, which is one of the fastest growing segments. And the modulator-based design enables our customers to really rapidly develop the solutions, enables a rapid time to market, and allows that differentiation we talked about earlier on.
Very good. So how does this enablement package improve time to market for your customers?
Well, radio designs are pretty complex. Anyone who's built radio units or basebands will have an appreciation for that. Oftentimes, if you look from a radio unit perspective, it can take anything from 18 months to over 2 years to move from concept into production. Our goal and what we're trying to achieve is to try and shorten that development cycle by providing as much IP as we can in a modular, customizable fashion, accelerating time to market, reducing development cost, and allowing our customers to focus on their proprietary innovation. The package that we're providing should be broad enough to support a variety of different applications, but it is key that we also consider that it's sufficiently performant and particularly consider it from a power perspective. A big focus of what we're all doing in this segment is reducing power consumption to address thermal requirements, but also from a sustainability perspective.
Yeah, that's good to hear. You touched on the fact that you've seen a few generations of development, and you touched on 6G. How do you ensure that this package stays relevant for future advancements?
Well, the biggest advantage is the fact is FPGAs are inherently flexible. You talked about it earlier on with that blank sheet, the blank slate. And so as we have support for new requirements, support for new waveforms, support for new end customer requirements, they can be rapidly developed on FPGA. They can even be downloaded over the air in situ in the network. And so you get the upgradability that's possible in that space. And typically we always see the next generation being deployed on, at least in part, on FPGA before it gets deployed anywhere else.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Once you build on top of that inherently flexible foundation, we've assembled a skilled team of experts in timing, in RF, in analog, in DSP, and in overall in radio design, to make sure that our enablement package is up to date to meet all of the different latest requirements. We actively participate in ORAN Working Group 4 to make sure our design is ORAN compliant and production ready. And I think most importantly of all, we collaborate with industry leaders like Analog Devices. I'm looking forward to hearing from Bill in a moment, and with customers like BMI to make sure that jointly we can meet the equipment that's being produced can meet the end customer's requirements, particularly in a performant and power efficient manner.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mike. And Bill, you've very patiently listened. Maybe we can bring you in now and and you could tell us about your transceivers and how they meet the needs of customers in this fast-moving market like the telecommunications industry. I think you're on mute, Mike. Bill, sorry.
Geez, I had my best lines right there. So Bernard, thanks for having us. Mike also, and Darren, I appreciate joining you guys on this call. I think, with ADI, over 5 generations of transceivers, we've worked at improving the performance of the devices while reducing the energy consumption. First, by improving, sort of going with higher levels of integration, of discrete components in the signal chain, increasing the number of channels that we're holding from, or presenting it from 2T, 2R, 2 transmit, 2 receive channels to 8T, 8R, 8 transmit, 8 receive channels, expanding the bandwidth. And then on the latter, around that's performance and around energy saving, it's with advanced digital pre-distortion techniques and other PA linearization techniques. So I guess what we've been doing to meet the needs of the customers really is, from a technical perspective, is our focus is on optimized signal processing and optimized low power consumption. So we're always looking for new ways to reduce the power consumption within the radio unit, which is more than 60% of the total consumption of the energy in the network.
Very good. And one of those elements is enhanced digital pre-distortion, or DPD, performance, which is a key feature of your transceivers. Maybe you can explain why DPD is important and how your solution excels in this area.
Yeah, so that's actually really a key point in the signal of the radio, and the clarity of the signal, as well as for the energy consumption. The PA in the radio heads is sort of the bulk of the power consumed in the RAN. And if we can improve the energy efficiency just of the PAs, we can go a long way in reducing the total energy consumption of the RAN. If you look at it on a global basis, I think right now, we think the GSMA is reporting that about 1.7% of the world's energy is consumed in wireless radio access networks. And a big chunk of that is in the PA. So by improving the energy efficiency of those amplifiers, the operators can achieve their energy savings, which reduces not only their carbon footprint, but also significantly reduces their OpEx. That process is the linearization process, which is also known as DPD. What that does is excuse me, I tried to cancel a call there. What that does is it allows the operator to maximize the throughput of the signal while keeping it as efficient as possible. We began, back in 2018, using machine learning techniques to help develop our DPD. And throughout 2020, we started to really get some traction on that. Now we're pretty far along in that process. And what we're seeing are significant improvements in PA energy efficiency, so that the operators can actually operate at closer to the limits of the power amplifiers.
Very good. So how does the collaboration with Altera ensure your transceivers work seamlessly in their enablement package?
So that's a really good question. Intel and ADI have been working together for several years, well before the pandemic. And we've created multiple design platforms together, including macro, and Mike alluded to this as well, macro and massive MIMO radio units. Because we've been doing this for so long, this collaboration really facilitates some seamless integration for our customers, so that when ADI and Intel working together, what we present to the final customer really can reduce months, if not longer, certainly people months rather, in the design time. And that helps them, one, it reduces their design hurdles, their total development time, and improves their time to market. So it's been a very good collaboration that we've had. We really look at together focusing on solving the customer pain points. And I think the good thing about it is that ADI's products and Intel products complement each other in putting together sort of the highest quality radios that you can get out there. So it's been working out very well.
Very good. Yeah, this is such a fascinating world and such an important area to work on and collaborate on. So thank you all for sharing your insights. For me, it's clear that the collaboration between Altera, ADI, and BMI is driving innovation and is accelerating time to market, especially in important markets like North America. I really look forward to seeing the continued success in the O-RAN space. For anyone who wants more information on Altera's enablement package, please check out Altera's radio enablement package or BMI's product offering or ADI's advanced transceivers. Until next time, thank you very much. And thank you for all my guests. And before we end this session, let's have a quick look at Altera's journey of innovation in this short video.
From humble beginnings to global innovation leaders, we have been on a journey, boldly going where no company has gone before, to make groundbreaking discoveries in the world of programmable logic. It all started in 1983 in Silicon Valley, when a small team of semiconductor veterans, fueled by a desire to solve real-world problems, dared to rethink integrated circuit technology. In 1984, this team, then known as Altera, unveiled the world's first programmable logic device, capable of being programmed, erased, and reprogrammed, altering the course of digital design and of innovation. As the new millennium dawned, so did the next phase of Altera's innovation. Taking advantage of Intel's advanced manufacturing processes, Altera's chips grew to over 1 million logic elements. Today, Altera is leading the integration of artificial intelligence and programmable logic, which we call FPGA. And this is just the beginning of more extraordinary discoveries, innovations, and endless possibilities.
We are Altera, accelerating innovators.